Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I thought I would take you this week through what my week looks like when I am trying to juggle a busy social life with a busy working week. So this does crop up quite a bit. I like to go out. I like to see my friends. I like to see my family. And life is just busy in general. So it's trying to make sure that you can stay on top of running your business, especially I think when you have flexibility. It's very easy, like if someone gives you the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, I can make that, because you can make that. But it's kind of like looking at it as, will taking half a day out or will taking a day out affect the rest of your working week and what that looks like. So as I say, this week is very busy in both parts. Over the weekend, I'm coming off the back of a busy weekend as well, because on Saturday we went to Lily Allen at the O2. We're in a box for that, which was, that's just another way of experiencing an event, and it was amazing. And yesterday I was at a baby shower, so I'm feeling slightly behind in terms of my recovery, but I want to make sure that this week is a solid one on all fronts: work, fitness, and social life. So come with me as I navigate my way through it, and I'll try and share some tips and tricks along the way of what keeps me going and what mistakes I make as well along the way, so that you can learn from them and not do the same thing. So I will catch up with you a little bit later on. Hello everyone, you will have to excuse if there's a little croak to my voice, because ironically I'm doing a vlog about balancing personal and business life when you've got a busy time of both. And by the end of the week, I got quite sick. So, I'm speaking to you the week after, and it's been a bit of a rough week, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, that's not about this week. Let's talk about last week. So I started the day off literally at 9 a.m. with a call with one of our clients to chat about an email sequence that we're doing. We're running a campaign about a service that they're offering. So we've developed all the assets behind it. And then the tactical side of it is doing an email sequence to try and get people further down the funnel to follow up. So we had to jump on a call just to run through and make sure that everything was set up and ready for that. A lot of the day today, as per usual at the moment, I spent editing, and it was editing the podcast clips that we got from the event that I went to, which I showed you a couple of weeks ago. So those are now finalised, and they are going live this week, the week that I'm chatting to you. So that's really good, really exciting. I'm happy with the way that they turned out, and I'm looking forward to doing more of a similar thing in the future. Later on, we did something that we haven't yet done. This was a first Paddle Partners Network Ambassador meeting. You don't have to go to these. They're just, a nicety just to chat about what's been working in terms of getting people to your paddle networking in terms of your region, and just to meet people essentially. So I jumped on this one. It was really nice actually. I thought we were only going to chat for a little bit, but we ended up all getting on really well, and we were on the phone for the whole 45 minutes. So yeah, that was a nice lunchtime call. And then my last call of the day was with my social and email team for Social Climber. We do these on a monthly basis, and then we'll catch up sort of in between via WhatsApp and obviously email and stuff like that. But yeah, this was just a good chance to get everything planned in for August, I believe it was. So yeah, that's how I finished off my day. Good morning everyone, it is Tuesday. I have not changed positions by the looks of things, but I continued my day yesterday, had a bit of a chilled evening. I think ever since getting the kitten, things have changed slightly. You'll notice that I'm in this room a lot more, and when I say this room, I mean my kitchen, working from the breakfast bar thing, rather than my office, just because we're trying to get her into a bit of a routine at the moment. So she does sleep a lot of the day, but me being the type of personality I am, when she's awake, I want to make sure that I'm around, that I'm here if she needs me, that I can play toys with her and make sure that she's using up some of her energy. And yeah, so that's just to preface why I've been here for most of the time. Last week it was because of the heat wave, because my office was like an absolute greenhouse. It was horrible. Anyway, so I've just got back from my morning walk, did an hour, which I think we did about 5k, something like that. I always like to, sorry, he's trying to climb up my leg. I always like to get my steps in early if I can, or a workout in early. So before 9 a.m, it's just, if I can have that as a non-negotiable, if timing allows, I like to get a workout in prior to 9 a.m. just so that it's done, so that if the day takes me off guard and I'm not able to get there at lunchtime, then it's just done early doors. So I am going to crack on with work. I'm going to get my to-do list sorted for the day, and then I will catch up with you a little bit later. Say bye. See you later. Whenever I show you the task that I'm doing, it's normally the more interesting task rather than the mundane stuff. And obviously I don't show you emails that I get from clients, etc. So if you see anything that looks quite repetitive, obviously it is, and I do a lot of repetitive stuff. However, it's not everything that I do. So the first task on the list was to run through, off the back of the call the day before, run through the social calendar for July and make sure that I was happy with all the imagery and all the post copy so that I could sign it off and that they could get it scheduled for July. I'm really happy with the way that the Social Climber socials are looking and just want to continue this as much as possible. I think we're going to try and fit in some more video into August. So yeah, excited to see it just continue to develop. And then in the afternoon, once again, I spent the afternoon editing, this time for a different client. So I believe I spoke about this in the last vlog, but I did some turntable videos of the product. And then I did 3 different videos all about different products and more piece to camera with some B-roll over the top. So it was a more interesting thing to edit than some of the other stuff that I've had to edit in the past. So it wasn't too bad, and the client is super happy, and that's all I can ask for, really. Wednesday was an exciting day. After a morning of work, I headed into London and over to Wembley. So it was the England game first and foremost, and we were going to go to Box Park to watch it, but we decided against it just because we thought it might be a little bit too intense. So we ended up finding this sports bar round the corner from the stadium, and it was absolutely fine. The garden was fine, and then all of a sudden we got walked through into this back area, which was essentially a car park. And when we walked in, we just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, we're literally 2-minute walk from Wembley Stadium and we're watching the game in a car park. This place filled up, let me tell you that. So it ended up being a really good place to watch it. And then from there, we of course headed over to the stadium and had a night watching Harry Styles. This is my 3rd time seeing him, and I definitely don't think it's going to be my last. So yeah, I am one of those people. Hello everyone, it's currently Friday afternoon and I didn't check in at all yesterday because this vlog is obviously about life. It's about work-life balance, which when it gets to summer becomes a little bit more difficult, especially when you're a business owner and you work independently and do a lot of the deliverables yourself. Because when you take any sort of time to do anything social, it comes back and bites you in the arse, essentially. Because Wednesday night, as you know, I went to see Harry Styles and had a great night, but it was over in Wembley. So I didn't actually even drink that much. I stopped drinking at 8 o'clock. I'd only had a couple of drinks before that, so it wasn't crazy. But the problem with Wembley is if something finishes at 10:30, by the time you get back over to Waterloo and then get out of Waterloo again, it's late. So I didn't get to bed until 1:30 on Wednesday night, which 20-year-old memes, or in her 20s memes, absolutely fine, no problem. Memes is me, by the way. I don't know whether I've ever referred to myself as memes on the vlog, but there we go. 20s Amelia would have been absolutely fine. But 32-year-old Amelia found that a massive struggle. Yesterday, I had a bunch of stuff that I needed to do, and it happened a lot slower than necessary. And then the same has sort of happened today, where there's been a lot of distractions in place. And yeah, my output has not been as strong this week. So in terms of like the balance, I think that's really hard to strike. Some weeks, like, I can balance it really well. I'm all go during the day. I'm all go during the evening. I can sort of do everything. But this week I found it a little bit more difficult. I'm still getting stuff done, but regardless. So I thought I'd just give a check-in because it's meant to be over the course of the week. I didn't speak to you yesterday. Today has been very much just doing a lot of mundane work, so I haven't shown you any of it. I've got a lot of editing. I'm on sort of a bit of a backlog. I say backlog, I got ahead of it at the beginning of the week, but I've got some edits of the edits to do, so I need to get that sorted, which I'm going to do early next week. I've got a bunch of reporting that I need to do early next week, and I'm shooting a podcast for a different client on Monday morning, so I've got to make sure that on Sunday I'm like ready to film and everything's planned and stuff like that. So next week is also going to be another big week, so I will take you along. Anyway, it's not next week yet, because tomorrow I'm going to be taking you to a little like town festival thing, because my band will be playing there. So I will just show you a few behind the scenes just because it continues the week. And then on Sunday we're going to finish it with a little bit of yoga. So I will catch up with you now tomorrow. On Saturday, as I said, I had a bit of a family festival to play at with my band. It's just a half-hour set. We've done it for the past few years and it's always a lot of fun. So these are just the clips that I got from that. I'm not going to provide any audio because I don't need to subject myself to that sort of ridicule, but I had a really, really good day and everyone seemed to love the performance. I've got another gig coming up this weekend and then I've got a few more over the summertime, which once again I'm very much looking forward to. Thankfully, I was not hungover. However, as I say, I was very poorly. It started on Saturday night and then Sunday morning I woke up and just felt horrendous. But we'd booked it a while ago. I was looking forward to it and it did not disappoint. We headed to a local venue. It was actually a local pub, but they have like an events area and they were running a yoga morning. So we did an hour of yoga in the sun and then we all sat down and had like a big communal brunch. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better way to start my morning. I absolutely loved it. And I will be doing it the next time that they do, which I think might be on a monthly basis. I thought I'd keep this in there because I started to film on Monday with a little bit more of a positive attitude. However, I've just been a little bit ruined this week. So I spent Monday filming another podcast with another client of mine. And I'm really happy with the way that this whole podcast thing is going. And I think that there's definitely more legs in it. And yeah, this was a very, very intelligent chat. A lot went over my head. However, it was good to be a part of, good to set up, good to use all the equipment and just practice that whole behind the scenes thing again of actually producing a podcast. So yeah, enjoy the very small amount of behind the scenes clips that I did get. Last thing to say really is thank you so much for watching. I hope that this has provided some sort of entertainment for you, if not value. So yeah, I look forward to catching up with you very soon.